Looking for a home in Atlanta without breaking the bank? Affordability is on everyone's mind right now, and as we move into some potential declining mortgage rates, let's look at where you can get the most bang for your buck. Here is a list of Metro Atlanta suburbs ranked by housing price. Milton, Georgia, median home price $1.3 million. If your list of wants for your home leaves nothing to be desired, Milton is where you go. Size, acreage, finishes, location. Now, Milton doesn't have a ton to offer in and of itself besides the neighborhoods and the school systems. There's Crabapple Market with some nice restaurants and a green/event space, but you're probably going into Alpharetta or Roswell for your typical things to do. Here's an example of what that median home price is going to get you. This home is currently available for $1.25 million, built in 2018 on a full acre of land. It's got 5 beds, 4 baths, 4,200 square feet. This is a really nice, clean, craftsman style home. All the finishes in here are really high end. It's got a beautiful lot. I love the screen porch on the back end. I love the 2-story living room with all of the bay windows. You really aren't missing anything with this particular home. And you have an unfinished basement, so there's still room to grow. Johns Creek, median home price $880,000. Johns Creek is known for its schools, its neighborhoods, and being one of the wealthiest cities in Georgia. It doesn't have a downtown or city center to speak of, but they are currently in the process of changing that with a new town center development that's in the works and hopefully set to open in 2025. And Travel and Leisure recently named it the #1 suburb to live in the entire US. Here's your example of a home in Johns Creek. This one is currently listed for $895,000. 7 bedrooms, 4 baths, 5,475 square feet. So they've finished the basement here. They've added a bedroom and a bathroom down there, which is why you have the higher bed and bath count. Built in 1998 on 0.29 acres. This is pretty typical of what you'll find for those homes in the 90s. It's gonna be greeted by the stairs, not necessarily an open floor plan, but very common to Johns Creek is that it's gonna be an older home, but it's gonna be very well maintained. Alpharetta, median home price $750,000. Alpharetta is known as one of the most popular places to live and where most people go for fun and activities. There are tons of parks, tons of shopping centers, tons of things to do like downtown Alpharetta, the Avalon, North Point Mall, and it's also considered the tech hub of the South with over 700 tech-based companies right here located in North Atlanta. And if your office isn't in downtown Atlanta proper, then it's probably here in Alpharetta. For our Alpharetta home, this is right at the median home price, listed at $750,000, 4 beds, 3.5 baths, 3,643 square feet. Built in 1994 on 0.63 acres. So similar to Johns Creek, it's gonna be a little bit of an older home that's really well maintained. These two cities are right next to each other. This one in particular has done a great job with some upgrades with newer cabinets and countertops in both the kitchen and a lot of the bathrooms. We have a screened-in porch, and they even updated the floors in the upstairs. Roswell, median home price $667,000. Most of Roswell was built in the 70s, giving it a very unique look and feel. You're gonna find more mature trees, slightly larger lot sizes, and neighborhoods that give each home its own unique vibe. No cookie cutter neighborhoods here. Downtown Roswell is super fun, especially Canton Street. There are tons and tons of great restaurants here. You could eat somewhere different every night and it's still gonna take you a while to get all the way through it. There's also the Chattahoochee Nature Preserve as well as the Chattahoochee River itself. This much nature, this close to downtown Atlanta gives this city a very special feel. This home in Roswell is listed for $660,000. 4 beds, 3 baths, 2,934 square feet. This was built in 1984, so a little bit newer as far as Roswell is concerned, on just over half an acre. And right away you can see this is very different than everything that we've seen so far. As you walk in, there's a fireplace that's not against the wall, but in the middle of the room. Very different. And as we're walking through, I can tell they've probably opened up some walls here, and they've gone ahead and redone everything in the home. It looks really, really nice, really open, really inviting. Look at these windows along the back, just overlooking nature. I would love to be sitting out there. Where else but in Roswell can you find something this unique and special? Cumming, Georgia, median home price $588,000. Cumming, Georgia is enormous. Well, really the official city limits are very small with a population of only about like 8,000. But if you count all of unincorporated Cumming and everything with a Cumming address, then it's pretty much all of Forsyth County with a population of around 90,000. It's really a tale of two halves. South Cumming is very developed with tons of neighborhoods, retail, and restaurants. There's the Halcyon area, the collection at Forsyth, Cumming City Center. The north side, though, is very quiet and still very open, although there's a lot of new construction happening, and the businesses are following right behind the residential. I'd give it about another 10 years, and that area is gonna look a lot different. Here's our example of a median home in Cumming, Georgia. This is listed for $590,000. 5 beds, 3 baths, 2,700 square feet, built in 2014 on 0.13 acres. This is zoned for Forsyth Central High School, so right in the middle of that north side and south side that we were talking about before. This is a nice little home, not too big, not too old, but very clean inside. I'm not gonna say it's a nice starter home because you guys are gonna yell at me for calling an almost $600,000 home a starter home, but it would be a really nice starter home for some people. Canton, Georgia, median home price, $566,000. Canton is the latest hotspot that everyone is moving to. Marietta became really saturated, Woodstock was the next frontier, and now everyone is headed up to Canton. There is a ton of activity and development going on here that has been met with mixed emotions. Some locals welcome it because they got in on the ground floor for a good price, and they are seeing all this development of shops and restaurants and new construction neighborhoods and churches, and they're just watching their home prices going up. Other locals moved to Canton for a quieter life, for more space, and they're seeing all this activity as just encroachment on the lifestyle that they thought that they chose, and they're moving up further north to get away from it. For our Canton home example, this one is listed at $565,000, 5 beds, 3 baths, 2,700 square feet, so a pretty similar footprint to the one we just saw over in Cumming, Georgia, built in 2018 on 0.19 acres. And that's pretty typical of what you're gonna see in these newer construction homes in Canton, is that the lot sizes are gonna be not that big. Although this one's got 3-car garage, and as you can see, that backyard with the fenced in, even though it's a smaller lot size, is still pretty darn usable. Marietta, median home price, $500,000. Marietta is one of the largest suburbs of Atlanta, taking up pretty much the whole northeast quadrant of Cobb County. Even though most of it was built in the late 80s and 90s and the homes are getting older, the home values have been rock solid because these school systems are so desirable. Marietta has multiple schools in the top 10 in the entire state. Pair that with great location, tons of amenities, and easy access to downtown Atlanta, and you've got one of the most popular suburbs around. Here's our Marietta home for that median home price. This is listed right at $500,000. 4 beds, 2.5 baths, 2,600 square feet, built in 1995, so right within that time frame that we were talking about, on 0.42 acres, and I would expect anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 an acre in this area. Very common for Marietta, brick front, and the layout is very common as well. Greeted by the stairs, formal living room on one side, formal dining room on the other. Back half is going to be the family room, which opens up to the kitchen, and then upstairs is going to be all your bedrooms, your primary bed with your primary bath, and then the other 3 bedrooms serviced by a single bathroom in the hallway. By the way, if you're trying to figure out which area would work best for you, my name's Joel. I am a local realtor here in the area. If you're trying to buy or sell your home anywhere in the metro Atlanta area, I would love to help you out. My information is below in the description. You'll also see it here at the bottom of the screen. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. I'm always happy just to answer questions or have a conversation. Woodstock, Georgia, median home price, $465,000. Once known to be where the more country part of Georgia began, Woodstock has spent the past 20 years absolutely exploding, and I can't wait for everyone to tell me to stop talking about it so that no one moves here anymore. It doesn't have a huge footprint, but it's got two major things going for it. It's got one of the best downtowns around, so much so that a lot of the surrounding communities are playing copycat and trying to develop their own version of it. The second is that it's situated right in the middle of what everything North Atlanta has to offer. Marietta in the Brave Stadium is just to the south. Alpharetta in the Avalon is just to the east. Ackworth in Lake Altoona is just to the west. And Canton in the Mill on Etowah is just to the north. For our Woodstock home, this one's listed right at $465,000. 4 beds, 3 baths, 2,240 square feet, built in 1994, little older for Woodstock, and on 0.56 acres. This is going to be a split level style home, and while it's not necessarily typical for Woodstock, it's not uncommon. What you'll find with this style home is that the bulk of the dwelling is going to be on that top level, usually a 3-2, and then the bottom level is going to be the garage with some unfinished space, although in this case they have finished that for an additional bed and bath down there. Ackworth, Georgia, median home price, $455,000. Ackworth isn't too crowded. Pause for people to tell me how crowded Ackworth is. There's still some space here, but there's also some really nice neighborhoods. I would consider it Dallas, Georgia's bigger, older brother. The downtown is very quaint with some nice restaurants, some residential area. Logan Farm Park is right there, and it also has great access to Lake Altoona. Just be mindful of what school system you're moving into in Ackworth, as it's in 4 different counties, and that's how the school system zoning lines are drawn here in Georgia. Here's our Ackworth home with that median home price of $455,000. We have 4 beds, 4 baths, 3,200 square feet, built in 2007 on 0.19 acres. And hopefully you can see right away, oh, I can get a larger home for a little bit less in Ackworth. And although it was built in the early 2000s, maybe it's getting a little bit older, almost pushing that 20-year mark, it's still got some updates in here. They've upgraded the floors, they've upgraded the kitchen cabinets. This could be a really good option for some of you guys. Kennesaw, median home price, $454,000. When you want to live in Marietta but you don't want to pay those prices, then Kennesaw is a really nice option. It's a really good transition between the more developed Marietta to Ackworth, which is a little bit more open. It's right in the middle of those two. It also has some nice points of interest like Kennesaw Mountain, all the shopping on Barrett Parkway, and the traffic, Town Center Mall, as well as downtown Kennesaw. A lot of buyers really prefer it here because it's less congested and a lot more affordable. For our home in Kennesaw, this one's listed at $450,000, 5 beds, 2.5 baths, 2,500 square feet, built in 2003 on 0.26 acres. And right away, if you compare this to the one in Marietta, it's a very similar size for $50,000 less, and it's about 10 years newer. Inside is very clean. I really like the layout, nice neutral colors. They've redone all the floors. This is a really, really nice option. Dallas, Georgia, median home price, $375,000. Here we have our first city with a median home price under the $400,000 mark. And a good rule of thumb is the further you go from the city of Atlanta, the more affordable the home is going to be. Dallas still has a lot of room to grow, which means the supply and demand ratio is going to be very different than a lot of its neighbors closer to the city proper. The historic downtown is very small but very cute, and the city doesn't have a ton to offer, but what people love about living here is the space and all the distance from the hustle and bustle. Here's our Dallas home with a median home price of $375,000. This is a 4.2.5 with 1,870 square feet, built in 2003 on 0.56 acres, so just over half an acre, which is nice. This is an elevated home over the garage, and as you walk in, it's got a moderately open floor plan with your primary bedroom on that main level. All of your other bedrooms are going to be upstairs, and if you look down, there's some unfinished space next to the garage, so you still have some room to grow. Cartersville, median home price $340,000. Definitely on the very outskirts, maybe not even considered part of Metro Atlanta depending on who you talk to. For some, that's going to be a deterrent. For others, it's going to be a huge benefit. It has a very under the radar downtown, very cute, and the city has a lot of really unique offerings like the Savoy Auto Museum or the Western Booth Art Museum, which has the largest permanent exhibition of Western art in the world. And then there's Tellus Science Museum, which has its own planetarium. Tons of really cool things to do here in Cartersville. Here's our Cartersville house listed at $342,000. This is a 3.2 on 1,648 square feet. This is built in 1908 on 0.23 acres. Now, not all the homes in Cartersville are gonna be this age, but this one is really close to the downtown Cartersville area, so this is a very unique find. And it's a cute little house here. As you walk through, you can see this has the charm of an early 1900s house, but they've done some upgrades here, like the floors and the trim and some of the cabinets here and there. This could be a really great option for someone looking to get really close to all the downtown Cartersville. So there's my list of Metro Atlanta suburbs ranked by median home price. Which one are you leaning towards? Are you going for straight affordability, or are you paying a little bit more to get closer to some of those amenities? Hey, if you need help navigating the home buying process, my name's Joel. Please give me a call. I'd love to help you out. I'll see you in the next one.